So what is Google trying to tell us? Where did all the buyers go? Did they just stop looking for houses? Is this a sign of what's to come with the housing market? Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. This is just a quick rundown of what we're seeing is rolling out into the housing market for 2022. So look, I know your time is valuable, so I'm going to come at you pretty quick at this information with a little bit of a southern drawl because I is from the South.
Oh, really?
But before we roll on, if you don't mind, just give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. I promise you, you will not regret it. So let's jump in. Google is telling us through Google Trends that fewer people are actually going to Google and searching for houses. Now, this information is important because we all know that the minute someone decides that they want to purchase a property, they immediately jump in their vehicle, run to the grocery store, grab a Homes magazine, and begin looking. Just kidding. We all know how people search for houses. We do it on our phones, at the red light, at the doctor's office, while you're on the treadmill, phones, iPads, tablets. It's ridiculous how many people look and search for real estate and actually find their home on the internet. But all seriousness, fewer people are searching for homes according to Google Trends and ShowingTime. Now, for those of you that may not be familiar with ShowingTime, ShowingTime is the website software, if you will, that's used by 950,000 real estate agents to set appointments. So when a property is listed, we as real estate agents and brokers, we go through that channel which connects the owner to the agent so they can be informed of the property when it's going to be shown. So what do people do after they go to the internet to look for a house? They find the house, they contact the agent who has it listed or their agent and say, I want to see this house, and those agents go through ShowingTime to set those appointments. Now, Google Trends is something that anyone can do. You can go to Google right now. Don't stop. Don't stop. Watch the video. There's more good stuff. You know what? We'll put a link in the bottom. If you go to Google Trends, you can type in any search term. And in this case, real estate, homes, homes for sale, land for sale, whatever it may be. And it will show you the rate at which people are searching for homes. Now, what's really cool is it'll show you the rate that people are searching for homes now, and it will show you the rate that people searched for homes in the past. And you can compare those two, and we'll pop up a couple little charts here, and you can actually see how the numbers have kind of fallen off over the last quarter of people physically searching for real estate through Google. Now, it would be nice to have a crystal ball to see into the unforeseen future, but that's not going to happen. What we do have, however, is data, information, numbers, and where we can speculate all day long what is going to happen to the future. One must always look into the past and follow history and follow today's numbers, today's statistics, stats, because now more than ever in the history of this country, we have more data and more information so we can make an even better calculated decision on the future of just about everything. Now, many of you may look at these charts right here and you see where ShowingTime it's falling off, right? You see the North American across the country, and we can pull it for every state, but every state, we've looked at many of them, whether it be Louisiana, Florida, Ohio, South Carolina, California. It's kind of funny when you look at these, they have all kind of tapered off towards the last quarter of the year. Now, why is that? Well, you have to look at, it shows you on these graphs the last 3 years. So the last quarter of every year is not much different than the year before and the year before, regardless of a pandemic or not. It's just the cycle of real estate. I've been in the real estate business for 25 years. I've seen a lot. And I can tell you that the peak season for real estate begins really around March and it ends around August when school starts back. So you have the spring and summer markets. Listen, that's why I always tell people, if you're going to sell your house and it has an in-ground pool, you are definitely better off to wait until the spring summer market. Why is that? Because the emotional factor of selling a house is not there in the wintertime if you have a pool. Think about that. It's cold outside. There's no emotion to that. And look, it's no different than if you're selling a boat, a convertible, a motorcycle. Those things are used more in the spring and summer months than in the winter months. So it's advantageous for anybody who's selling a boat, a motorcycle, or a convertible to do it in the spring and summer. Same way with a pool. Now, you got a cozy house in the woods. It's beautiful in the fall. You may not want to put that house on the market in the summertime. You may get more money for it if you wait until the fall. Which, as I mentioned, and you hear me say it a lot, it's the basic principles of things ebb and flow, going up and down in prices and that is supply and demand. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. You know, they could be economic heroes, stimulus heroes. They could be superheroes. Supply and demand. So Google is telling us less people are searching for homes. Showing Time is showing us that less people are physically setting appointments to go look at homes. So where did all the buyers go? Couple of things to consider. Interest rates have jumped 3.5%. The federal government has announced that they will no longer be buying mortgage-backed securities and they're going to be selling off bonds. What happens to that? When they do that, the rates go up. Now, it would be easy to blame it on the rate hike, right? Interest rates go up. I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to spend that much for the house. But I don't think that's all the case. That may have a little bit to do with it. But here's something else. You need to think about the lack of inventory that's on the market. So if you're looking for a house, if you're watching this video and you're looking for a home, or you or someone you know that's looking for a house, you've probably heard them say, there's nothing on the market, or I had to make a price that was $20,000 over. We suggested to our buyers, and it doesn't matter to us either way, but oftentimes people get caught up in the whole negotiating of a property. They'll spend $15, $20, $30, $100,000 more for that property when they may want to look at, wait a minute, I didn't want to spend over $350, $400. I made an offer on a $360. I had to make multiple offers to take it up to $420. Perhaps you could have just looked at $425, $430, $445. Maybe there was fewer people. Now, I'm just using these numbers as an example. They're all going to be different in every market. So if you yell at me and you're in Portland, Oregon, the average sales price is $800,000, I get it. I'm sorry. But you understand what I'm saying. So when they hear that the federal government has raised the rates, the feds raised the rates, and there's nothing to look at, it's easy to go, dude, I'm done. I just need to take a break for a while.
I'm taking a nap.
You want to take a nap?
I'm taking a nap here.
Okay, take a nap right there then.
And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. So have they just stopped? No, absolutely not. Maybe 15 to 20% in a slow, but that's right now, 2022, the first 2 weeks, 30 days into the year, January. That we pretty much see that every year for real estate. And look, that's what the data is telling us. Now, I can speak for our area in the Metro New Orleans, Louisiana real estate market. Our inventory is extremely low compared to years past. And although we still see people purchasing homes, average days on the market is 2 to 3 weeks. There's still buyers out there. I can say that we've seen a slowing of leads, a slowing of buyers, a slowing of inventory, and a slowing of the market. But look, it's not just Louisiana and it's not just New Orleans. It's every city around the country. It's busy. People are buying houses. Interest rates are historically ridiculously low at 3.5%, especially if you've been watching this and you remember double digits, 12, 18% back in 1980. But when you look at the numbers and how low they are, in terms of numbers meaning houses available on the market, like in the Metro New Orleans area, we're seeing about a 65 to 70% less homes on the market than were on the market 2 years ago. And that's pretty much the same in every city and every state across the country. Now, is all of this a sign that the housing real estate market is slowing down? Perhaps it is, but I don't think so. And here's why. As a real estate broker, I don't think it's just because of the rates that have increased. I don't think it's just because that time of year. I think that anytime you have the federal government coming to us and saying publicly, the economy is moving too fast, it's going too good, we're going to have to make a shift, we're going to have to make a change, we're stopping stimulus, we're not buying any more mortgage-backed securities, we're selling off bonds, the rates jump up 3.5%. Anytime you do that, it makes people step back and question what's going on in their world. And yes, they question whether or not now is a good time to buy a house. They question, well, wait a minute, worst case scenario, let's not spend any money. And that's exactly what they want everybody to do, because as soon as they stop spending money, as soon as you stop spending money, as soon as I stop spending money, guess what we all have to do to each other, the goods and services that we have, that we're increasing the prices and doing it to everybody else and each other, we have to bring the prices down, because at the end of the day, you got to eat, you got to survive, you got to sell your goods and services. And if nobody's buying your goods and services, what do? You make it cheap enough so people can buy your goods and services. It's supply and demand. But as I mentioned, just as soon as anything happens, people take a guess, they stop, they freeze, and they watch. And worst case scenario, they're like, let's just chill for a bit. Let's just assess. Let's see what happens. It's no different than if you're If you hear a noise and you think, what was that? You stop, you freeze, you listen closer, you assess the situation, and you do that because you want to make sure that you know what's going on. You got a good feel for what's happening out there. You don't really know. And at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself and your family and your surroundings, and you just have to analyze the circumstances and situations. It's called market uncertainty. It's just who we are. It's human nature. Worst case scenario, don't spend money. So to sum it up, the numbers are there. I don't think there's a big difference in what's happening now than what's happening in years past. Did the buyers stop looking? Are they going to stop buying houses? No, people will never stop buying houses. I've sold houses in depressions, recessions, and there's always people out there that need shelter and that will purchase property. Regardless of the shift in the market, we see a slowing, we see a pause, and then it just picks back up. And it's just oftentimes a different cycle of buyer. Is this a sign that the market is slowing? I don't think so. I really don't. I think 2022 is going to be a remarkable year for our economy. Now, if you're looking to sell a property in 2022, it's going to be an exceptional year because we're going to see property values increase still, just like we've seen last year in 2021, 2020. We're going to continue to see properties go up. So yes, it's a good time to sell a property. If you need to sell a property, now's the time. There's never a bad time because when you buy real estate, you want to buy it to hold. If you're buying and flipping property, it's not the cost of the money, it's the availability of the money. If you're buying and flipping a house, if somebody said, look, I'll give you $300,000, you can go flip a house today, but I want 14% on a return on that money. And you can go out and make $100,000 and pay somebody $14,000, you do it every day. See what I mean? Real estate is long term, so whether you're buying when the interest rates are 10% or 3.5%, you got to buy and hold it. You're going to be in that property. People are staying in their homes longer now than ever before. It's like close to 8 years. Not to mention rates are crazy low, and just about every city and every state across the country, the government has USDA loans, and these USDA loans are basically a government grant that grants you money for the down payment. And if you want to get the seller to pay your closing costs, they can pay some or all of your closing costs. A good real estate broker can negotiate and do that for you. The government gives you the down payment through a USDA loan. Like literally, we have clients, we close multiple houses every single month with people doing loans through USDA. Yeah, I know, just like when the beef, United States Department of Agriculture, that's what it's underwritten under. So if you're living and watching this and you or somebody you know is on the outskirts of city limits, and literally outskirts of city limits, I'm 30 minutes outside of New Orleans, and my whole entire parish, which is the same as a county, by the way, this whole entire parish falls under rural development. It's a rural loan, but yet I'm 30 minutes from the Superdome. So if you're looking to buy or sell real estate, this is not just a plug for us, but we want you to make sure that you ask the proper questions when negotiating a contract. You want to make sure that you ask the proper questions when hiring a real estate agent and choosing a real estate agent. And if you need somebody in your city or your state, your town, your hometown, we'll be more than happy to help you. That's a service that we can provide for you. You can simply give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, or you can email me directly, Wayne@wayneturner.com, and we'll take good care of you. Until next time, have a good day.